I'm Johnny Mann, and I'd like to welcome you to the Yamaha electronic keyboard video beginner level. This video is in the Hal Leonard video series. In it, you will learn all about operating your Yamaha electronic keyboard. In addition, you'll learn music and rhythm notation, chords, and how to use the many exciting features on the Yamaha electronic keyboard. You'll also learn basic finger technique and the Hal Leonard learning approach that will enable you to play from nearly 300 books in the Hal Leonard Easy Play and Electronic Keyboard Music series. To help you review a song or exercise, we have included a music finder number in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You'll also find a music finder number in your video songbook. That number will match the number on your screen. This makes it easy to locate the section you want to review. Joining me today are four of my very good friends, Jenny, Jay, Rebecca, and Michael. Hi, gang.
Hi, John.
This is what you'll be able to accomplish by completing this easy-to-follow video. We're cooking. I know that together we're going to have a lot of fun today, so set up your Yamaha electronic keyboard and let's begin this session. Here you see several different models of Yamaha electronic keyboards, but despite their differences, they are basically the same. Some have large keys and some have small keys, but all have keyboards. They're all portable, and they all can play through their own speakers or through headphones. Although some have more buttons and controls than others, they all allow you to do the same thing, play great music. Now, we'll eventually learn what those buttons and controls do, but let's start with the most basic aspect of playing, putting your hands on the keyboard. When playing your keyboard, you should hold your hands as if you're holding a bubble, not too tense and not deflated. It helps if your arms are parallel to the keyboard. Your fingers are numbered 1 through 5, with your thumbs being number 1 and your little fingers being 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a moment, we'll try an exercise using good hand position and all 5 fingers. But first, let me tell you the names of the notes we are about to play. The musical alphabet consists of letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. In our exercise, we'll be using C, D, E, F, and G. Notice that C is to the left of the 2 black notes. D through G are the white notes to the right of C. In our exercise, we will be playing these notes in this order: C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, using both hands, thusly. C, D. Now it's your turn to join me. Find the note C, 1 for each hand, and let's begin. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. Now, were you using good hand position? Okay, let's try it again. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C. Congratulations! You have just played your very first exercise. Now remember, as you look at the keyboard, when we move our hands to the right, we are moving up the keyboard. When we move left, we are moving down the keyboard. If you would like some more practice with our first exercise, just rewind your tape and play along again. Always notice the music finder number in the top right-hand corner for the numeral location of any exercise or song. Get busy. One of the most exciting elements of the Yamaha electronic keyboard is the accompaniment section. Let's take a look at your keyboard to find out how the accompaniment section works. The accompaniment on your electronic keyboard is composed of drums, bass, and chord rhythm sounds. Listen. Feels pretty good. By pressing just a few buttons, you can be in control of an entire rhythm accompaniment.
Which of these buttons controls the rhythm accompaniment?
Well, Jenny, not all keyboards are the same. Yours may be different than Jay's, but the controls are always located together. Looking at each accompaniment section feature separately, let's first of all notice the variety of drum rhythms. Second, look for the start and synchro start buttons. Both of these start any drum rhythm you might choose. For bass and chord sounds, locate the single finger switch. By pressing just the single note, you can produce both a bass and chord pattern. I love it. As you probably discovered, the auto bass chord system is only activated in the lower section of your keyboard. This division enables you to play a chord and a melody at the same time. Now let's play an exercise using the auto bass chord system. As you know, the musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. In this particular exercise, we will be using C, F, and G. And remember that C is to the left of the 2 black notes, and F is to the left of the 3 black notes. G is to the right of F. J, using proper hand position, place your left hand on the lower part of the keyboard with your thumb or first finger on C and your 5th and 4th fingers on F and G. Perfect. Now try pressing each note and listen to the entire chords you hear. Great. Now let's use these 3 chords in our next 8-measure example.
Just one problem, Johnny. I don't know what a measure is.
I'm sorry, Jay. I'm moving a little too fast. Let me explain it. First of all, notice the 5 horizontal lines on your screen. These are called the staff. The staff is divided into several parts by bar lines. The space between 2 bar lines is a measure. In a moment, we'll play an example that is divided into 8 parts. Therefore, it is 8 measures long. Now, let's all play this example. But first, turn on your single finger switch, but not your drums. I'll provide the drums and a rhythm accompaniment. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. I love it. We're cooking, we're cooking. Hey, that was really good, folks. What we just played is known as a blues progression. It's used as a basis for many popular songs. Now, some of you have a memory button on your keyboard. However, on some keyboards, this feature is automatic and doesn't have a separate button all its own. But whether you have to press a button or not, the memory feature has the same function. It enables you to lift your finger up once you have pressed a note and have the chord sound continue. Easy, easy, just automatic. If it is automatic and you don't have a button, it is only activated when your drums are on. This makes it easier to locate your next chord or press other features on your keyboard while you're playing a song. If you have a memory button, you must turn it off at the end of the song or the accompaniment will just keep on playing and you're through with the song and there goes the background still going. So remember to turn it off. Let's repeat the example again, and this time I'll add the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Oh, I love it. This is called blues, folks. Now let's learn about operating the exciting variety of drum sounds on your Yamaha keyboard. First, turn off the auto bass chord system. This enables you to play the drums separately. Then select one of the automatic rhythms and press the start button. But before you do, let me demonstrate some features. There's your drum tempo. The speed or tempo of the drums is determined by the tempo control. You can hear it now. You hear how it varies the tempo. Also, notice the light flashing. This is sometimes called the downbeat light because it flashes on the first beat of each measure. It's also called the tempo lamp. Why don't you stop the tape and experiment with the tempo control, up and down, fast and slow. Watch how it affects the downbeat light. The drum rhythm I just played was in 4/4 time.
Well, wait a second, Johnny. I don't know what 4/4 time is.
Well, Jay, I did it again. I went too fast, too far. You'll notice at the beginning of every song there is a time signature. Just remember the top number of the time signature tells you how many counts or beats are in each measure. Since the drum pattern I played was in 4/4 time, there are 4 counts in each measure.
Are there different time signatures?
Yes, Becky, there are many different time signatures. But the 3 you will mainly deal with are 4/4, 3/4, and 2/4. In 3/4 time, there are 3 counts to a measure. The waltz setting on your keyboard is an example of 3/4 time. In 2/4 time, there are 2 counts in each measure. The march setting on your keyboard is an example of 2/4 time.
How do I know if a drum pattern is playing in 3/4 or 4/4?
Michael, always check your downbeat light. Count the beats between each time the light flashes. That will tell you how many beats are in a measure for that particular rhythm. Now let's add the drums to the exercise we just played. Jenny, why don't you play this exercise for us? Remember to turn on your auto bass chord system, your memory button if you have one, and choose a drum rhythm and press your synchro start button. Now that seems like a lot to remember, so let me repeat it. Turn on your auto bass chord system, your memory button if you have one, and choose a drum rhythm.
Why the synchro start?
Jenny, the synchro start control allows you to synchronize the start of the drum rhythm with the start of the bass and chord rhythms. Therefore, the drums won't begin until you press the first chord with your left hand. Okay, Jenny, let's hear the exercise. Hey, Jenny, that was great. Now it's your turn to try it. You can find the music in the video songbook. Look for the chord accompaniment exercise. Stop the tape and practice as long as you want. And remember, practice makes perfect, folks, so spend some time doing that. If there's information you missed, just rewind your tape and review it. We're on our way. Remember at the beginning of the video, I told you that through the Hal Leonard learning approach, you'd be able to play hundreds of songs. What I haven't told you is that we've already been using this approach. The Hal Leonard learning approach is just 3 easy steps. These steps are also printed in your video songbook. Step number 1 we've already done. It is practice the accompaniment only. Step number 2 that we'll be doing next is practice the melody alone. Step number 3 is practice the left and right hands together. Throughout this video, we'll be using the Hal Leonard learning approach, and you'll see how it makes learning new songs really easy. Let's now go on to step number 2 of the learning approach and learn to play a melody. The melody section of the keyboard is larger than the accompaniment section. It reaches from here all the way up. One of the really great features on your Yamaha keyboard is that you can change the sound of your melody. It can sound like brass, strings, or even a pipe organ. Just choose whichever setting you like. The first 5 written notes we will learn are middle C, D, E, F, and G, moving upward. Since we know that C is the note to the left of the 2 black notes, it makes the whole grouping easy to locate. Middle C is the lowest C in the melody section. On your screen, notice how C, D, E, F, and G correspond to the 5 written notes. The symbol on the left is called a treble clef. The treble clef is used in all right-hand melody playing. Using these 5 notes, we can play a song. I think you are all familiar with the ballad Love Me Tender, made famous by Elvis Presley. In playing the melody Love Me Tender, try to hold the white notes on your screen longer than the black notes. Michael, why don't you play this melody for us?
Okay.
Terrific, Mike. That was very fine. Now, if you weren't playing along with us at home, why don't you stop the tape and play the melody of Love Me Tender all by yourself? You can rewind the tape or simply play the song as it is in your video songbook. Practice makes perfect. Now that we've learned to locate notes on the staff, let's learn how long each note is to be held, or its time value. The time value of each note is determined by the type of note written on the staff. Here are some examples. A whole note is equal to 4 counts or beats. In 4/4 time, this note would fill an entire measure. A half note is worth 2 counts. Therefore, 2 half notes would make up a measure in 4/4 time. Finally, we have the quarter note worth 1 count. 4 quarter notes would equal 1 measure in 4/4 time. To further your understanding, why don't we try adding time values to the melody we have already learned? In order to learn new songs, we always need to count time values. Let's practice counting time values using the melody of Love Me Tender. Let's all play this melody and count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Terrific. How do we do, gang? How do we do?
Great.
Well, let's try it again, only this time I'll add the accompaniment to your melody, playing and counting. Notice the keyboard at the bottom of your screen. We'll be using this to help you follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you're almost ready to play Love Me Tender with both hands. But before we do, there are a few new music elements I need to talk about. The first element is the repeat sign. These signs tell the player to repeat the measures enclosed between these signs.
How many times do we repeat these measures?
Just once of those enclosed measures, Becky, unless it is notated to repeat more times. The next element to discuss is the use of fingering notation. Since music can cover an entire keyboard, a player is constantly changing his hand location. To make these changes as smooth as possible, you will often see finger numbers above written notes. Now that we've learned these elements, let's go on to the first step of the learning approach and learn the left-hand part of Love Me Tender. First, turn on your auto bass chord system. And we'll play the left-hand accompaniment part only, observing the repeat signs.
Do you mean that I should only play the chords?
Yes, Jay, that's correct. As I provide the rhythm from my keyboard, you at home play the chords with your left hand. Let's begin, and make sure you're playing along as you watch the tape. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. One more time. All right, that's it. Step number 2 of the learning approach is to practice the melody alone. Since we have already played the melody in our learning time values section, let's go on to step number 3, putting both hands together. If you want to review, stop the tape and practice the melody until you feel you're ready to go on, because practice does make perfect, believe it. Turn on your automatic chord accompaniment and your memory button if you have one. Omit the drums for now. I'd like all of you to play the melody and the chords, and I'll provide the drums and additional accompaniment. Remember to follow the fingerings written in the music and observe the repeat signs. Okay, let's play the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready. Congratulations, we've learned our first song. You now can see how easy it is to play your Yamaha electronic keyboard and how much fun it's going to be to play new songs. To perfect Love Me Tender, you'll probably need some extra practice with this session. So go ahead and stop the tape, check the music finder shown on the screen, turn on your rhythm controls and practice slowly, gradually increasing your speed. Remember the Hal Leonard approach. Left hand and right hand separately, then the left and right hands together. Song number 2 is Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's one of those wonderful spirited songs from Walt Disney's Mary Poppins. In this song, we'll be learning some new notes. In addition to C, D, E, F, and G, the new notes are A, B, C, and D. If you notice, the lines in the staff are E, G, B, D, F, or every good boy does fine. That's an easy old way of remembering the lines. The spaces are F-A-C-E, or the word face. Okay, let's learn song number 2, starting with step number 1 of the learning approach. Let's use our left hand and play the accompaniment chords for the song. It will also help if you count out loud. Okay, gang, I got that. I'll provide the drums and additional accompaniment. As a further help, the chords will appear across the bottom of your screen. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Yep. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Get ready to make your chord change. Now back to C. Now. G, C, 7th. F. Back to C. G. C. That was excellent. Now, before we go on to step number 2 of the learning approach, Becky will demonstrate the fingering changes involved in this piece. Becky, first play measures 7, 8, 9, and 10. Notice between measures 8 and 9, her hand position changes. Now, Mike plays measures 10, 11, 12, and 13. And between measures 12 and 13, notice how he changes fingers, but plays the same note. Now that we're fingering experts, let's all try playing the melody, and I'll provide the rhythm accompaniment. As an extra help, the melody will appear across the bottom of your screen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Change hand position. Change hand position again. There. Got it. Now, if you need extra practice, just rewind the tape and play the melody again. Now, if you're ready, let's go on to step number 3 of the learning approach and put the whole thing together. Turn on your automatic chord accompaniment and the memory function, but omit the drums. I'll provide the rhythm needed for the song. Let's go, troops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. By Jove, I think we've got it. We did have it. For further practice, let's now play the song as it was performed in the musical Mary Poppins. We'll play through the song 3 times, getting a little faster each time. Practicing slow to fast is a great way to perfect any song. Just for the fun of it, let's all sing on the 3rd time through and see if we can all say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. This is the easy part. Now it's going to get faster. Get ready, gang. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. We got it. We did it. Our next song is Endless Love, a beautiful duet ballad recorded by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. There are a lot of interesting things to learn with this song, so let's get right to it. Once again, there are new music elements to learn. Our first music element is called a tie. When a note needs to be held through a bar line, a curved line is added between the 2 notes to connect the notes. With a tie added, the note is held for the length of both notes. Our second music element in Endless Love is an 8th note. An 8th note is equal to half a count. Incidentally, 2 8th notes equal a quarter note.
When we count quarter notes, there is 1 note to each count. How do we count 8th notes?
Jenny, you count 8th notes by adding the word and between each count, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Our third element deals with rests. Now, this doesn't mean we're going to take a nap, of course. In music, when we talk about rests, we're talking about breaks in music. For each note value we have learned, there is an equivalent rest value. A whole rest hangs below the 4th line, and when it appears, we rest for the entire measure. A half rest sits on the top of the center line. When it appears, we rest 2 counts. A quarter rest appears as a squiggly line and gets 1 count. An 8th rest is even smaller, getting 1/2 count. Now, before we play Endless Love, let's practice counting and playing 8th notes and using musical rests. Let's do this by playing the melody of the first 4 measures. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, start. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, rest. 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4. Now that we've learned this useful information, let's play Endless Love. Jenny and Jay, you play the accompaniment only, while Becky and Michael play the melody, and I'll provide the rhythm. With the learning approach, steps 1 and 2 can be reversed. On your screen below, you will see the accompaniment chord, so those of you watching and learning with us should play the accompaniment first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. Pretty song, pretty song. That's really a pretty song. Using the Hal Leonard approach is an enjoyable, quick way to learn. Let's try it again, but now you guys play the melody while both of you play the accompaniment. Across the bottom of your screen, the melody notes will appear. So those of you watching should play the melody. Make sure you observe the rests and hold the ties. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. Really easy. I love it. Nice, nice. Now it's time to put both hands together. If you still need some practice on either the melody or accompaniment, just rewind your tape and practice again. Those of you going on to step number 3 should get ready to play the melody and chords. I'll provide the drum rhythm. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, play. That's really pretty, isn't it? That's really fun to do. I like that. Every Breath You Take is a rock ballad recorded by the Police that has become a standard. This song will introduce us to our first minor chords. A major chord sounds different than a minor chord. It's a major chord, that's a minor chord. Now, minor chords are notated by a small m to the right of the chord name. The way to play a minor chord on your Yamaha electronic keyboard is to press any black key below the chord name in addition to the chord name itself, like so. Why don't we all try this method by playing an A minor chord together? Here we go. Good. Now we have one other new element to talk about before we play Every Breath You Take. Songs do not always begin on the first count of a measure. Instead, they can begin with what we call in music a pickup note or notes. When we talk about pickups in music, we're talking about melody notes at the beginning of a song. In many cases, pickup notes are played before an accompaniment chord is to sound. In other words, you hear the melody alone.
But if a melody doesn't start on beat 1, Johnny, won't that throw the drum rhythm off of the beat?
Good question, Jay. When using the SynchroStart button, the drums won't sound until you play your first accompaniment chord. You know, once you perfect the first 4 measures of Every Breath You Take, the rest of the song is relatively easy. So let's count and play the first 4 measures of the melody. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, go. 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you don't have it perfect yet, stop the tape and practice some more. Those of you who do have it, take a deep breath and get ready to play Every Breath You Take. Again, let's have Jenny and Jay play the accompaniment only, while Becky and Mike play the melody, and I'll provide the rhythm. The first time through, you'll see the accompaniment chords only across the bottom of your screen. Those of you learning with us should play the accompaniment part first. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Sing it. Hey, how'd you two do with the minor chords?
Good.
Do you remember to press the black key?
Mm-hmm.
I did too. I think I got it that time. Let's try it again, but with the groups reversing, okay? You all reverse. Now, across the bottom of your screen will appear the melody. So those of you watching should play the melody now. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. As you know, step 3 is to put both hands together. Remember, with pickup notes, you don't press an accompaniment chord until after the pickup measure. And of course, use your synchro start control for your drum rhythm. Why don't you stop the tape now and slowly practice this particular piece. This Land Is Your Land is one of my all-time favorite patriotic songs. One of the nice things about this song is that it gives us an opportunity to learn some new notes. The first 2 notes are high E and F. The next 3 new notes are G, A, and B below the staff. In order to notate these notes, ledger lines are required.
What are ledger lines?
Jenny, in music, a ledger does not refer to bookkeeping. Ledger lines are horizontal lines placed above or below the staff to show the exact location of a note. Now, we also need to discuss the 7th chord. This chord is notated by adding a small 7 to the right of a chord name. The way we achieve these chords on a Yamaha electronic keyboard is to press any white key below the chord name in addition to the chord name itself. Now, why don't we all try this method playing a G7th chord. That's it. I also want to talk about one of the really special features of your Yamaha keyboard. It's called the variation switch. By a simple push of a button, you can spice up any drum rhythm on your electronic keyboard. The variation switch can also change the bass and chord rhythm patterns of the accompaniment. Now, since keyboards differ from one another, you need to find the location of your variation control. On some keyboards, there is more than one setting of the variation control. The variation switch may be found with the drum controls also. In the song, This Land Is Your Land, there's a place to use the variation switch. It's notated in your music. Using your left hand, I suggest you activate your variation switch on the first count of a measure where a chord symbol does not appear. Let me show you. Variation. Why don't you stop the tape and practice the exercise I just showed you? Also, start with the first step of the learning approach and practice the entire accompaniment using the variation feature. Make sure you turn on your single finger switch, your memory switch if you have one, choose a drum pattern, and hit your synchro start button. Also, you can find the music to This Land Is Your Land in your video songbook. Start practicing. Let's go on now to step number 2 of the learning approach. I would like all of you to play the melody alone, and I'll provide the rhythm. Watch out for the new notes we just learned. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Variation. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. If you're ready, let's go on to step number 3, putting both hands together. I'll provide the drum rhythm, and you play the melody and the chords. You know, it's always fun to sing along with familiar songs. We're going to sing along this time, so if you'd like to, please feel free to join in the fun. Let's put it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Variation.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Wow, we've covered a lot. What we've learned together here today took me more than a year to learn in piano lessons, and I'm not kidding you. What makes this exciting is the many different types of music we can now play. The pop hit Neutron Dance, one of the hits recorded by the Pointer Sisters, was one of the featured songs in the movie Beverly Hills Cop. With this song, we will be learning about music accidentals. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to ask you to play mistakes. What I'm referring to are signs that change the pitch of notes. There are 3 types of music accidentals. They are sharps, flats, and naturals. When you see a sharp written next to a note, play the nearest available key, black or white, to the right of that note. Obviously, this raises the pitch. Why don't we all play a C sharp? First, locate the note C, then play the black note to the right of C, like so. When there's a flat in front of a note, you play the nearest available key to the left of that note. This would lower the written pitch. Now let's all play a B flat. First, locate the note B, then play the black note to the left of B. The last accidental to learn is the natural. A natural simply cancels a flat or sharp. For example, on your screen, you see a B flat. To raise that pitch, you see a natural sign appear on the next note. Now look at the F sharp on your screen. To lower that pitch, you again see a natural sign appear on the next note. In each case, the natural canceled the flat or sharp sign and returned the note to B or F natural. One more thing to remember about sharps, flats, and naturals. They only apply to the measure they're written in. I hope that's clear because that is quite tricky. This song also gives us a chance to use the fill-in button. Here's the fill-in button. Now, when you press the fill-in button, it triggers a drum solo. Some for one measure, some for two, like so. I bet you didn't realize when you got your Yamaha electronic keyboard, you'd also become a star drummer.
That's really fantastic, Johnny, but how do you know when it's the right time to press the fill-in button?
That's really a good question, Jay. Obviously, you wouldn't want to use it in every measure. I think the best way to understand this is to relate it to the way we speak. When we speak in sentences, there are natural breaks, particularly at the end of a sentence. The same applies to music. Most musical sentences or musical phrases are 8 measures long. Therefore, the 8th measure of a musical phrase is a good time to hit the fill-in button. This brings us up to the arranging factor. When you're playing your electronic keyboard, not only can you use your fill-in button to become a star drummer, but you can also become a musical arranger with your keyboard. In addition to the variation and fill-in buttons, many of you have other features that spice up and enhance the accompaniment or melody even more. But to use each of these features, every 4 or 8 measures would make your songs sound cluttered and disjointed. Therefore, before you play a song, you must decide where any of these features would be most appropriate.
Since we're just getting started, is there any basic rule to help us arrange a song?
Yes, Becky. Most songs are 32 measures long. I would make no more than 3 or 4 changes every 32 measures. Changes are the most effective in between musical phrases. And in the song Neutron Dance, I've selected 3 places for accompaniment changes. Let me demonstrate the first 11 measures so you can hear and see the use of the fill-in feature. We'll do it. Do, 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 do. Fill in. Stop. That's tricky, isn't it? I love that. Stop your tape now and practice the entire left-hand accompaniment using both the fill-in and variation features. And if you're ready, let's go on to step number 2. This time, everybody play the melody, and I'll provide the accompaniment. As you play the melody, think through the variation and fill in changes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. Here's your B flats coming up. Another B flat. E flats. More E flats. Stay with it. Dig it up. E flat. That was really fun. There are a lot of things to think about when we're doing this, so if you need more practice, just rewind your tape and play along again. And if you're ready, go on to step number 3 and put it all together. You play the melody and chords, I'll provide the rhythm. Let's go and be together. Good luck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, go. We're cooking. E flats. Yo! Boy, that's fun playing that. Isn't that a kick, gang?
It sure
Yeah, I
does.
love it. I hope this videotape has gotten you off to a good start with your Yamaha electronic keyboard. Of course, there might be some additional features on your keyboard that we didn't cover, and if there are, just read your owner's manual for a full understanding of their functions. I also hope you continue to use the Hal Leonard learning approach with all the music you are now able to play. Hal Leonard also has a series of music books designed for your electronic keyboard. The Easy Electronic Keyboard Music Series with over 50 books and the Easy Play Today series with over 200 books contain songs you can now play. They cover everything from current artists to old standards, gospel to contemporary, Christian, vintage rock and roll to Broadway. You can find these series at your local music outlet or write to Hal Leonard Publishing, Box 13819, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53213. Well, there's no excuse now for you not to have years of fun and enjoyment with your Yamaha electronic keyboard. Whether at home, outside in the park, at school, on a boat, in your car, or really anywhere, just the fact that you have these instruments to have fun with and play all the time, because no one can appreciate music better than those of us who play it. And you stay with it, you'll have years of fun. Right, gang?
Right.
Right.
Keep on playing.